Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Nugget Junction. When I say episodes, I mean road trips to where we are today. I am Linda Mitheo. I am your host for today. And we do have a co host joining us today. My daughter, the lovely Charmille Jawneh. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Charmille and I'm Linda's daughter, of course. And I am 17 years old and I'm still in high school, so it's great to be here right now and to experience this.
Amazing. Thank you, Charmille. Thank you, Crankston. Now, with us, beg your pardon, we have the lovely Selam. Selam, welcome to Nugget Junction.
Thanks very much. Appreciate that.
Maybe you can also introduce yourself, say a word or two.
Yeah, well, my name is Salam Tegegn. I'm from originally from Ethiopia. I came to Australia in 2003, and it's been, a difficult journey through, Ethiopia, then Kenya as refugees at the time. And luckily we had the opportunity to come to Australia, which was really great. So I've been here for the last 20 years. I've done my education here as well, my employment here in Perth. I haven't lived in other states, but I've traveled in other states.
Amazing. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We have our new co-host for the episode, for the junction today, who is my darling daughter, Charmille. And there's a basis as to why Charmille is here today. Charmille, why are you here today at Nugget Junction?
I'm here today as I want to get experience with the media side of things, as I'm hoping to do it for a career. Yeah, and I'm really it was perfect that it worked out like this, of course, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for a very long time until recently. At school they're telling you figure out what you want to do, how you're going to get there, whatever. I thought I wanted to do nursing. I tried nursing, wasn't my thing. So my mom actually has been telling me for a long time, what about media studies and mass communications and stuff of that nature? And I was like, yeah, I listened to her, but I was like, yeah, I'm not sure. But then I really thought about it and I was like, I do want to do this. So yeah, today is just a bit of experience gaining and yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, well,
Beautiful.
that is pretty much on point. Charmille, do you want to let us know where you're at right now with your studies, with life, or what your forecast is after school?
So I am planning on going to uni after school. I'm actually in my last term of school right now. I have about
Well done.
7 weeks left. of
Wow,
school
daunting.
after 12 years of my long schooling, and it's coming to an end. And yeah, I'm hoping to go to uni next year. Obviously studying media, maybe broadcasting,
That's
that
great.
sort of thing. And yeah.
Great. Is
Beautiful.
that scary, daunting, being in the last weeks of your
It's scary.
school, that's everything you've ever
Yeah,
known?
for sure.
Absolutely.
Because I was always thinking, I was seeing my cousins graduating and all that, and I'm lucky them. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
obviously, school's not the best always, but I like school. I really do like school. So leaving's sad, and seeing the people that you've known for so long, and I know things are going to be different, but I'm also willing to embrace it because
I like that.
it's a new journey. that I'm taking.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Well, any advice, Miss Salam, to our daughter here, Charmille?
Oh gosh, you're taking me back to my university days, especially as an RN. I did
Right.
my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing as well.
Nice.
I didn't want to be a nurse. It never crossed my mind either.
Nice.
I wanted to be a lawyer. I had set up
Wow.
in my mind that I was going to create a law firm,
Nice.
be a criminal lawyer, and be a
Big
judge.
dreams. Love
you
that.
know,
Yep.
and give other people opportunities of employment with the business ventures that I would start.
Amazing.
But there was concerns of, not being able to find employment when I came here at the time because of the racial discrimination, and there was no diversity and equal opportunity as there is now. So this is where I say to you, it's really great that you've got a supportive family, especially supportive mum, to let give you that confidence to move on to other areas of your own interests.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I say go for it, make sure you enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, reassess, because especially at university level, no one is going to make you do your work. You're an adult. University expects you to do the work that
Yes.
is expected.
Yeah. You
from
grow
the
up pretty quick,
assessment.
don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It changes you as you are in your responsibilities and your needs. But enjoying what you do, I think, is the biggest blessing you'd need. So I think
Sure, yeah.
you're on the right track from the sound of it. And, be consistent, be passionate.
Yep.
And when you need time out, have time out so you don't burn out.
Yeah. True.
Very true.
Yeah, that's what I would
True.
say
True.
to
True.
my younger self as well.
Thank you for the advice.
Yeah,
That
sure.
was good advice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's also good to know that you can change your mind. Like once you start something, you don't have to stick it out.
You
If
don't.
you really don't like it, there's nothing worse than waking up
Staying in
every
it for the
day, not
sake
liking your
of.
job,
Yeah.
or people's opinions
Yeah.
and stuff like that influencing you.
Yeah.
And I think
Always
it's important that our parents, especially when you come from a CALD community
Yes.
or ethnic community,
Yes.
that families should be okay with you making certain changes.
Yes.
Sure.
Because if you're not comfortable in that role that you are in, it's really difficult to move on or move forward. Either be education, either be employment.
Exactly.
So being versatile in certain angles is very important.
Exactly. I agree.
For sure.
I mean, for me, growing up, education was instilled upon us. I am very fortunate that my parents were not the ones who drill it so much into you to a point where you're feeling the pressure to do it for the sake of the parents. I mean, at the end of the day, they do want you to succeed. They do want a better life for you. And where I'm coming from, being first generation or second generation Africans in Australia, education is the one that gets you there. Growing up in
Absolutely.
Africa, there's very little chances of succeeding, in comparison to the Western life we live, You can do any job and you're still living comfortably compared to, our upbringing in Africa. So I have got that same background and I'm instilling that in my daughter where
can
I
see
am
that.
not necessarily pressuring her to, you must go to uni, you must know what you want by now. She's still a kid, what?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing in life and I just obviously went with it and other doors opened to another. And at the end of the day, I mean, you succeed. Success is what you see in you. I have raised a child on my own. I have traveled. I've built houses. I have got this now. And
Yeah.
nobody ever pressured me to certainly follow a certain path. So
Yep.
I do try to advise my daughter, please, whatever you do, it has to come from your heart and let time also get you there. Things do happen in time. Just have an
Along the
idea of what your talents are. Touch base on your talents and you'll never feel like you're working a day in your life.
Yep.
So I do wish you the best in your dreams.
Thank you.
Me knowing you as your mom, I know you're so talented in many ways. I feel you are very suited in this game, in this area. I mean, today's world, we have social media, we have all avenues that can get you to that area that you want to be at, as far as, media and mass communications, as you said, compared to back when I started, it was so one-sided, But yeah, I know you I know you're a girl of many talents. I know you're so nice. You got good hands, if I can put it that way. When it comes to beauty or hair or even nursing, you've got the brains for that. Smart child. So it's up to you which direction you do take.
Definitely.
So in saying that, yes, I've been blessed to open doors in that regard to get you to hopefully where you want to go.
That's
sure.
beautiful.
And
Yeah.
that also
Beautiful.
makes me proud as a mum.
That's just beautiful to witness.
It
Yeah.
is. So, yeah. Salam, what do you have to, what about your story? If you can elaborate more on how you got here. You did mention that, you came in from a refugee background. Predominantly, Nugget Junction is for Africans in diaspora
Yeah.
who we welcome here on this couch to tell your story of how you got to where you are now from a refugee to an amazing businesswoman in all sorts of different backgrounds. You're doing exceptionally well for yourself.
Thank
Let
you.
us know how you got here, please.
Gosh, I don't even know where to start. Sometimes looking back, it does overwhelm me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because, you know, when you're so passionate, you're driven, you are consistent, time just flies.
Yeah, it
We were
does.
sitting here talking about, you know, your schooling and what you'd like to do.
Yes.
This is the same conversation I was having with my family.
Mm.
I just feel like yesterday, and then here we're talking a different chapter of my life.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, it goes so quick. You've got to make the most out of it and really challenge yourself to get
Yes,
to where
it's
you
true.
need to be. So as for me, well, you know, I come from an Ethiopian Eritrean background from East Sub-Saharan Africa.
Nice.
Um, we had a beautiful life back home. My dad was a, you know, sports commissioner.
Nice.
My mom was an accountant.
Nice.
Came from a very big family.
Yes.
But due to the political division and all the issues that was current at the time, a number of us were displaced.
Wow.
This is in
90s?
1995.
Yeah, I'd say it's about the 90s when all that was
Yeah.
happening.
So the Ethiopians, you know, some of them went to Sudan, some of them went to Uganda, some of them went to Kenya. So neighboring countries
Yes.
took us in, and you know, we were processed to either by the United Nations, of course,
Yes, of course.
under the humanitarian visa to be sent to either, you know, Europe,
Or the
America,
Americas.
Canada,
Yeah,
you know,
Australia
everywhere.
and so on.
Yeah, where all the diasporas are right now.
Exactly.
But we needed to be patient throughout that journey, and luckily for us, it was a little less than 5 years.
Nice.
And you know,
You
obviously,
mean in a refugee camp?
we luckily were not in a refugee camp. We were in
Right.
the capital city.
Amazing.
In
Nairobi?
In Nairobi.
Very nice.
So I learnt my schooling there. I started off back home first, obviously, but you know, I continued schooling in Kenya. Picked up, you know, my English and
Nice.
Swahili itself.
Ah, nice. So you speak a bit of
so I've got
Swahili?
something special in
Charmille, you speak a bit of Swahili? What do
You
want
know,
to say to
Jambo,
Salem?
Nafanyaje, yes.
Hey.
Absolutely.
We have Miss Nairobi in the house. I
I'm
like
telling
that.
you, definitely.
Yeah.
Always, my root always is with
I
Kenya.
love that.
Forever
That's
will
nice.
be, because that's where I grew
nice.
up. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So piece of you is always there
I'm
with.
connected like you wouldn't believe.
I love that.
Yeah. And we came here in 2004. You know, there were challenges obviously that we faced.
Yeah.
Especially when you see your parents struggling through challenges that they had never experienced, but you also
Yeah.
had to be strong
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that you don't make them sad from being sad from what you're
Exactly.
seeing. So that's one thing that I can't forget, is to see
Wow.
how courageous my parents were in trying to be strong throughout that journey. Was
Wow.
incredible.
Yeah.
So I grew up and I matured at a very early stage because of the situations that we experienced.
Nice.
And that made me who I am today, you know, where I've achieved a lot of things because, you know, they say time is the essence of the hour,
Exactly. It is.
you know, and that's the kind of life we've had to leave, not knowing where we're going and what's going to happen. So you make an opportunity and
Exactly.
you make it work.
Exactly.
And you make it work right now,
Exactly.
not tomorrow.
No, no, you got to do something
you don't
now.
know what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
exactly.
And
That makes
you
a
know,
lot of sense.
absolutely. And I learned a lot from my parents. So we came here. Luckily, things worked out. We were initially meant to go to the US, but that didn't work out. But it was the best thing because there's no country like Australia, I would say.
I love that.
You know, we're blessed to be here.
Exactly.
And, you know, it's made the family journey enjoyable. So, you know, we all started, you know, life here. My parents started working. I started going to school, finished my high school, then finished going to university. I wanted to be a lawyer, but that wasn't, you know, what family
Feasible
advised.
at the time? Or?
Just in case.
Yeah.
You know, so then you know, my family said, why don't you become a doctor? And I said, look, you know, I could become a doctor, but let me try something closer to medicine, pharmacy or nursing.
Makes
Just,
sense.
you know,
Yeah,
just
makes sense.
touch base
Yeah, exactly.
into the cause. So I said, look, I'll just do nursing, see how it goes. If it goes well, great. We go ahead with it. Happy days.
Exactly.
So I went with nursing, did my nursing degree, enjoyed it. It was
Oh,
it
wow.
was definitely my thing. My personality, you know, was just being in
Yeah.
it. I did really well. I was quite successful in being a nurse and doing my postgrad, doing education. I worked in every area of nursing that you could ever imagine.
Oh, is that right?
That was to prepare me to end up in medicine.
Of course.
Then halfway through all this, you know, my heart was calling me towards the legal aspect of things.
Oh, there's that lawyer coming through.
Yes. A lawyer knows he or she is a lawyer from the
Exactly.
beginning
I'm telling you.
because of the rights of other people.
Oh, nice. I
You
like
want
that.
to really maintain and take
Yes.
care of the rights of others, especially when
that.
their rights are taken from them.
Wow, I like that.
So that was one of my reasons, because of my humanitarian experience being a refugee.
Of
I've
course,
seen
the
so
connection.
much rights
Yeah.
being taken away from people.
Wow.
That's because of the circumstances they were in being displaced.
Wow, so sad.
So I said, I want to be able to give people the opportunity to have their rights given back to them.
I like that.
And so in my head as a little girl, I saw that as me being a lawyer and doing it that way.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to follow the law
No.
path.
No, it's
But
not
like
as
you
you're giving
said,
back.
exactly.
Yeah. So for me, I said, okay, great. Well, then in this case, and then I started doing a lot of community development, where I became a community ambassador, community leader. The
Nice.
titles just
Yeah,
became so many.
I like that.
I one day just went into
Pop your collar, girl.
oh, I'm telling you, it put
That's
my collar
nice.
big time.
That's nice.
And I was invited to an emotional intelligence seminar, and that's when talking about how important it is for us to understand what emotional intelligence is and how much we actually need to apply it in our personal life, working life, relationships, and our business lives as well.
I like that.
Because it was a topic that really opened my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hang on a minute, this is something that I really need to take inwards, even for my own patients. When I'm giving them that treatment, I can't allow for my emotions to
get in,
overwhelm me.
yes.
You know what I mean? So it was a great seminar. That's when I was picked up to be in a leadership role as a director of
Oh, you
public
were actually
relations.
picked up from
From
what they
that-
saw
yes,
in you. That's
yeah.
amazing. That means you're
Well,
definitely
I don't
destined
know,
to,
but for me, all I knew was
and
helping.
talented. Yeah, exactly.
know?
It has to come from inside, within you. Otherwise, it's not gonna work.
And that's my upbringing. I thank
Yeah.
my family for that.
Yeah.
It was a journey, but it gave me the opportunity to be in different roles. I was a public relations advisor, consultant. That's been the main role for me, because I'm really good with people. I love people. People love me,
I like that.
and I bring people together.
I like that.
I don't like any particular person feeling as though they're on their own. And if I see you on your own, I will come up to you and say, hey, how you going? My name is Selam. What are you
I
up
like
to? What are you
that.
doing here?
Yeah.
Have you got family? Because a lot of
Yeah.
diasporas here come here and don't have family or friends.
It's true.
And a lot of us don't greet each other. We have forgotten each other's cultures.
Exactly. We have. And you assume everyone is fine, doing their own thing, living their own life.
Absolutely.
You don't check up on each other.
No.
Everyone is so caught up in their own lives.
Exactly.
You forget that there's some people, even though they are in the diaspora, they're still going through it.
Definitely.
And
And
they
for
need
me,
time to settle in and so on and so forth.
for sure. And that's one of the things that, as a clinician, I see that in the hospital base, where, I see a lot of patients come in and they have no family. They're on a visa. They've lost their job. They don't have family and friends.
Wow.
And I think to myself, how am I going to make an impact
Yes.
outside of my main career when I'm out in the community?
I like that.
And this is the way my journey began, supporting communities come together, supporting each other, coming into different communities and getting to know one another,
Yes.
and having that stigma or shame or whatever it may be to be lifted. So I said, well, then maybe I will be that light. I will pass through and bring
I
the
like
love.
that.
you
I like
know?
that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, seriously. And you naturally have it in you. Just as soon as you walk through the door, you radiate.
Oh,
You're a
bless.
people person. Truly, the humanitarian is depicted in you.
Thank
The
you.
way you hold yourself, your character, the way I can see you touching bases in so many different community organizations. And I admire you for that.
Thank you.
Amazing.
My dear, it means
Amazing.
a lot. It really does.
Yeah.
It's definitely, not easy. It's
No.
as a one woman to be in so many different areas of, involvement. It's not
Yeah.
easy, but I enjoy it. And that's the thing. When you enjoy what you do, you can fly and no one's going to stop you
Yes.
from that. So I say, you go, girl.
I wanted to ask, is there any specific experiences that, has taught you the most valuable lesson that you know today?
Oh, look, there has been a lot. I think for me personally, it's me going into nursing, which I love and I've loved and I forever will, and I am who I am because of that. But deep down, it makes me feel like, oh, how about if I pursued law? But then this is where, before I would regret it sometimes, and I'll be like, no, maybe this is not the way it should have been.
Yeah.
It could have been this way, it could have been that way.
Yeah.
Because the only focus I had was in making sure that people's rights were not, taken from them.
Nice.
Or they were not abused or misused.
That's right.
Because we experienced it. So I knew how it felt. So the experiences that I went through, my nursing journey, made me who I needed to be to maybe continue, pursuing or thinking about maybe we need to get into a law degree at some stage, and that's what I will end up doing at some stage later in the future.
So the inkling or that niche for you to just be a lawyer is still in you.
Yeah, definitely. Even just to understand the legalities around law itself.
I like that.
It's just fantastic to have.
Yes.
Because it gives you a confidence in a different way.
I like that.
And those two together have really shaped me out to be who I am. And the other, I would say, would be being involved in different communities and people thinking if I had a hidden agenda or, if...
Oh, you get that, do you?
You do.
People thinking you have a
if
hidden agenda.
if you're everywhere...
Yeah.
Not necessarily does that mean you have an agenda of any sort, but when people don't understand your background of where you come from and where you've come from,
exactly,
your intentions are completely different.
Exactly.
And this is where we need to start talking to each other a little bit more.
I like that.
And this is where I try and bring that love in and sprinkle the journeys, everyone's journeys in. And so far it's brought me to amazing places.
Amazing. That's good.
And here we are today. I'm also a union representative, a union official.
Nice.
And that's where the whole rights thing comes in,
Amazing.
Workers' rights. And that's really opened my eyes into pursuing other things.
That's great.
And a blessing, I would say.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, being a union rep, how do you help people? How do you help others?
Well, look, a union representative or an official is a member of a union organization that is all about workers' rights, workers' condition. Are they in a safe working condition? Are there issues to do with their current working condition? Is there misuse of power within providers? Is there abuse? Is there workplace injury? Is there emotional, psychosocial injury?
Yes.
How do you handle incorrect payment? Your wages? And, we are the voice and the vessel in order to support, I guess, our members from, transitioning from one point to another.
Wow. Okay, well, where were you when I needed you?
If only God knew.
I'll say that because
literally, go on.
A couple of years ago, to be honest, I will dictate the story.
Sure.
I was fired from my job.
if I knew, I would have been in a heartbeat.
And to be honest, I did have a union representative, fight for my rights. Obviously, that went nowhere because he was useless. And at the end of the day, I did decide to just take the payment and walk out because I felt like I had given that company 8 good years of my life.
Oh, absolutely.
Literally, I was the one they would call when things needed to be sorted out. I was literally in different departments.
You were the confident one who would get it done.
I was the face of the company, you know what I mean? I did everything from reception duties to claims to insurance to workers' compensation.
You're all-rounder.
I was an all-rounder, to be honest.
Love that.
And obviously I was there for a long time, meaning I was doing something right. But when it comes to workplace bullying, after 8 years of taking it and biting my tongue, obviously at the time, I'm raising my daughter. I'm thinking I need financial aid. I just have to go with it, for the sake of, supporting my child, bills and so on and so forth. Long story short, I had enough. And I literally told my boss everything from the beginning to the end of what I think and how it was unfair and, the position I'm in. And I feel like she felt disrespected or maybe nobody has ever stood up, to her. And when I say that, I was by no way rude or disrespectful. I said what I had to say from my heart.
Yep.
And even after that, while I was walking out, I still apologized. Me. She should have apologized to me.
Did you have a union rep at the right at the
I had a
start,
union
or did
rep
they come in
from
later?
the start. I've been paying the union fees since the start of
Well,
my
see,
employment.
The way that things have gone is not correct.
Well, this is why I bring this up, because
Yeah.
I felt like I was unfairly dismissed. But look at me now, all good.
It's probably a blessing
It
in
was
disguise,
a blessing in
is
disguise.
it?
In saying that, like I
Yeah.
said, I've always walked my journey, and I've always walked it in faith, and
Yeah.
and I know there's always better out
Okay.
to come. Maybe it was way overdue, and this is how it happened. But have you faced a situation or a client where they have been unfairly dismissed, and they do have a right in what they are claiming, but you have probably helped them, or
Oh, look, absolutely. The first example is your own, because, as union officials, we support and we're there with you and make you understand the issue that you're experiencing shouldn't have happened,
yeah,
right? And there's many stories: unfair dismissal,
yes,
sexual harassment,
whoa, that's too much.
misconduct and misbehavior.
Wow,
All these are the main things that
you do
issues that we
face in
deal
your
with. And a lot of our people, when I say our people, I mean, there's the diasporas of the third world countries. This includes Arabs, Africans.
yes,
It includes Asians.
exactly,
All of us. We
yes,
don't, not all do we have the confidence to speak or find someone that we can relay this information to.
yes,
And as a
yes.
union official, there's the fear of losing your job if you don't speak about this matter with a union official or a family or friend. And by the end of the day, there's rights that the employer needs to meet
Exactly.
by the Fair Work Commission.
Exactly.
It's a must. It's non-negotiable.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, that is what is the criteria of your position as a rep.
and we are meant to be holding your hand to support you through these circumstances and situations. And this is where I can interchangeably use my skill sets from
like that.
my nursing,
I like
the union,
that.
the
I like
community,
that.
the whole
Community
thing.
leading.
Do you know
so
what I
on.
mean?
I like that. They
But
all came into play, or they do from time
everything.
to time.
Oh,
Your
I
life
tell you.
experiences.
It's like I
and
have a toolbox, and I've got different tools that I can interchangeably use
I
for
like
different
that.
people with
I like
different
that.
issues
I like
to
that.
support them in what journey that they're facing.
I like that.
So my thing is, this is why we should all come together and really talk about our issues. I know there's privacy, confidentiality issue where we come from,
Yes.
and there's shame, there's stigma.
Yes.
You
What
know,
will they think of me, or why should I speak up? This could happen to me, and that will happen to me if I
Yeah.
do.
and this is issue
Whistleblowing.
everyone faces.
You're
Yeah.
you're made to.
But
know?
there's a solution for this, and the solution is find someone that is private, is confidential, means well, and means what they say and say what they mean, and go to them. I have already opened my arms to anyone that needs me
I
out
like
there.
that.
My hands are open. We can talk about
That's nice.
anything. You can hold me accountable to my own confidentiality. And if we have that in our communities, I think we could solve a lot of problems, especially misunderstandings, and especially feeling lost because we've come from a different country,
Yes.
and we're trying to establish our life here.
Mm-hmm.
There is issues in homes that I have heard, I have seen, and we can do this together.
So for those who are watching, and they do want to reach out to you for that help, how can they reach you?
I've got multiple social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm currently working out on a website.
Nice.
I've also got TikTok. So
Nice.
it's simply put my first name and my surname, which is Salam Tegegn. That's Selam for Mary. Surname is Tegegn for Nelly. It's as simple as Salam Tegegn. You can find me even on Google. There's all the information's out on there.
Well, we'll have your credentials on the show,
Thank
on
you.
the screen for all our viewers if they need to reach you. But it was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Charmille, do you have anything else you want to say as far as your career, your studies upcoming? I'm just curious, why are you veering away from the nursing that you initially thought? Because obviously we have two people here on the couch. One is a nurse, enrolled nurse, correct?
Clinical
Registered.
nurse.
She's a full nurse, registered nurse. Beg your pardon.
That's okay.
And we have one who thought of doing nursing. Which area of nursing were you looking to get into initially?
It wasn't specifically like nursing, like in the hospital type of nursing. So basically, I wanted to do cosmetic nursing, right? And obviously, with cosmetic, you're working with injectables and all that sort of stuff. So you have to be a registered nurse in order to become a cosmetic nurse.
Correct.
So my initial direction was cosmetic nursing. And then last year in year 11 of high school, I did a Cert 3 in, I think it was health service assistant. And then this year I was going to do a Cert 4 in, what's it called, nursing preparation, so that it would take me straight to uni without an ATAR. So I did it for the year. It wasn't really my thing, of course, but I was like, I'll stick it out, you know.
Yeah, good job. I like you for that.
It can take me somewhere.
That's resilience. That's
resilience. Yeah, you know, not quitting.
Yep.
I did all my work, and then I thought, and I was like, I don't know, because I was like, when I actually do this, like, for real, like, am I going to like this? Am I going to enjoy it?
Exactly. Or are you just pushing it for the sake of?
That's a good question too.
Very good question.
And it's like, when I was younger, I thought I wanted to be a nurse or a doctor or something because, like you, I liked helping people and I thought it was sweet, but I think it just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
And I also had, like, other things on my mind that I was like, okay, I could possibly like this better. And even if I don't end up liking this media thing, then there's always another option, you know?
Exactly.
Nothing's
Life
final.
is full of opportunities, my child.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the reason. It just wasn't my thing, my preference. You know what I mean? And
it stays an idea sometimes, you know, until you get to where you really want to be at.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's all good.
And you got plenty of years now that you're entering your adulthood to decide and know what your path will be. 100%. When they pressure you, usually they give you direction. They not necessarily pressure you, but I know you've come to me dozens of times approaching me fearful of, you know, what's next. Oh my God, Mom, you know, I'm going to be out of school. That's all I've known. And they're pressuring me to do this and know what I want by next year. How are you supposed to know what you want? Not everybody knows. Some people do. Don't get me wrong. Some people straight out of school know exactly what they want to do.
And it's okay not to know.
And it's okay also not to know.
Yeah.
Sure. So I think it's also the school, like, they definitely, like, enforce it on you to like, figure out what you're doing. And soon, like, I remember when I was in year 10, it was like the transition between year 9 and 10. It was like year 9 was like, you're basically still a kid, and then year 10 they start talking about careers.
Career
expo.
That was correct.
Telling you to do all these things to do with careers, and then they, like, stress you out because you're like, I didn't even think about this, like.
Yes.
And then I feel like that also, like, can scare people and stress them, but I figured, I was like, it's okay.
You'll be fine. You got this. Yeah.
I'll be fine for sure.
I mean, Salam, what do you think of being an African in diaspora? What age did you come to Australia?
So I came here when I was turning 13.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Very much so. Your story is very much similar to mine, to be honest. Sometimes.
See, there you go.
So, yeah, I mean, I obviously talk to Charmille all the time about growing up in Africa and opportunities being less. I mean, she's she's an Australian girl.
Yeah.
And it is so different being born and raised in Australia compared to where we had to pick up the culture of Australians. And, you know, even just to pitch an idea creatively in the arts back when I was growing up was a no-no. But, you know, today they do, you know, promote inclusiveness. And like I said, all this social media can get you to places nowadays. And
absolutely.
You know, you're so well culturally aware because you are born and raised here. So I'm sure you'll do just fine in any path that you want to take.
Thank you.
If you need any advice from Auntie, I'll call her Auntie. It's a respectable African way, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, if you ever need any advice, you know, maybe you do have cards, yeah? Yes, maybe Salam can give us her card and
definitely,
we can, you know.
Wonder if I've got the right one.
Yeah, network and build connections.
My doors are open. Yeah. And this is where I think, you know, like there's mother-daughter, myself here, and if you know, every home we had a discussion, a conversation like this,
yes,
I think families could really be in a better place.
I think so too.
Sure.
And it's okay to discuss things,
and
you know?
like an open conversation.
Yeah.
Like a
judgmental
I'm telling
or
you what
intelligent.
need to do
Correct.
type of thing. Or
Yeah.
if you tell me you want to do something and I don't like it, then
Yes.
no. Like
Yes.
just an open one. Where
Yes.
everything's on the table. You can be whatever you want
Yes.
Absolutely.
as long as it's your
Amen.
passion.
You've literally summed it up for me.
You can be whatever you want. I like that.
Absolutely.
Charmille, do
Yeah.
you want to close the program, or
Yes.
seeing you are, you know?
Practicing.
Yeah.
Sure. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Salam, for coming,
Thank you for having me.
and thank you for having me as a co-host,
Oh, not as your mum?
as that as well, of
I'm
course.
kidding. Yes.
And it was great to speak with everyone today, and definitely learned a thing or two. And
great.
I hope you guys enjoyed.